Not one. Maybe you know one. I don't know one. It's always, I want to get away from that. I wish I could quit. I wish I could stop. I wish I could put them down, preacher. Look over at Proverbs chapter 9, verse 6. Trying to give you some instruction this morning. It says in Proverbs 9, verse 6, it says, forsake the foolish. Forsake the foolish and live, and go in the way of understanding. The way of understanding is not foolish. But if you follow the foolish, and a foolish person, I'll be honest with you, is someone who's taking a tobacco product and using it, putting that poisons into your body, and is killing you. And many people already got all kind of other physical problems on top of that. And then they're asking God to help them. God's not helping. You need to get rid of the garbage. What is the verse we have on our prayer list? Psalm 66:18. If I regard iniquity in my heart, the Lord will not hear me. Over in Isaiah 59 verses 1 and 2, it says to separate from sin. And if we have sin in our heart, if we turn God's face from us, I don't hear our prayers when we have sin like tobacco in our life. Trying to give you something to help you. 2 Corinthians 6:17. Turn back over there. 2 Corinthians 6:17. A lot of good verses here. But we're just going to read one for the sake of time. And we got a lot of other verses. 2 Corinthians 6:17. It says, wherefore, this applies to a lot of things. Wherefore, come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord. And touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. And will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my sons and daughters, saith the Lord Almighty. We as children of God ought not be standing around. It's a shame. Saw somebody at, it was a community care of one, it was the one-sided. I was over there trying to tell someone about Christ. I don't know, it was a couple months ago or something. Had two people standing out there smoking out in the back. What community care of one was the other one? It was over there at those apartments. Trying to tell someone about Christ and be a witness to them. And then these two jokers come up there smoking cigarettes, saying they were Christians. They were going to go play some instruments down at the church house. We're going to rock for Jesus. What kind of testimony is that? I'm trying to tell somebody that a Christian is different. A Christian is supposed to be separated from the world. A Christian is supposed to be a new creature. Then you get two jokers come up like that and say they're Christians. That's a shame, a pitiful testimony. They are saved. The Bible says we're supposed to be separate. Touch not the unclean thing. This unclean, I'm supposed to be touching it. God says it's in God's Word. I won't be touching it. God says not to be doing something. Last thing I won't be doing is touching it. There's 4 areas that I wrote down. Association with tobacco. I just don't want to be associated with it. I don't know about you. First one is in the sexual area. Magazines such as Playboy and Penthouse, Vogue magazine, cosmetology, Rolling Stones, and Glamour. Sex in the City. They all advertise cigarette products heavily, as long as alcohol. I don't want to be associated with those groups. I don't know about you. I want Playboy, I want Penthouse, I want cosmetology, Vogue magazine, Rolling Stones, and Glamour. I don't want any of that garbage. I don't want to be associated with it. Tobacco crowd, they also try to use Hollywood. They try to use Hollywood. And use big stars to promote their cigarettes. And they'll stand around and puff on them and smoke them. I'm going to read you a big long list here. Hollywood crowd, these are just some from back old days. Some now. Some you might recognize, some you won't. Some will be some programs, some will be some other movie stars. Hollywoods, big names like John Wayne. I like John Wayne. He was in sin. If he's saved, he's in sin. Elvis Presley, Brad Pitt, Amy Winehouse, Johnny Depp, Britney Spears, Paris Hilton, Charlie Sheen, Santa Claus. All over the internet. Santa Claus, picture smoking. No, I appeal to little kids. Look, Santa smokes. How can I smoke? Jack Nicholson, Lindsay Lohan, Tommy Lee, Rock Hudson, Andy Griffin, the Flintstones. Andy Griffin supposed to be a Christian, he says. Puts his Christian CDs out or dead. Still does, I guess. I think, is he dead? I don't know, they don't have to be dead. He said he was a Christian. Sings his gospel songs, which that makes everybody Christian sing gospel songs. You know, yeah. One of the prophets getting saved singing gospel songs. The Flintstones. You know, one of the very first Flintstones had Fred and his little friend, I forget his name, sitting out behind the house smoking cigarettes. Cartoons do it. The Addams Family, Johnny Carson, All in the Family, Matt Damon, James Arnaz, plays on Matt Dillon in Gunsmoke, Lucy and Ricky, and I Love Lucy. Mary Kate Olsen, he will be a teenage example for us. Mel Gibson, which had the Passion of Christ. What if he was smoking a cigarette when he was doing his singing or helping? Chuck Norris says he's a Christian. He's just out to help young people. How can that boy, I say he's a boy, man, how can he have that ungodly program? What's the name of that program? Walker, Texas Ranger. In that bar scene every time. Got liquor all over the place. Got a half-naked woman in there. And them cussing, and him saying he's a Christian. Wouldn't take me long separating that garbage. Dean Martin, Cary Grant. Now here's the rock and roll crowd that the tobacco industry uses. These people have done commercials and all for them too. A lot of them people. Just about every one of them. Rock and roll, country, blues, metal, southern gospel as well. Snoop Dogg. You probably heard of Snoop Dogg. Because I'm talking about Snoopy. Snoop Dogg. That's about soup bone. Not soup bone. I'm thinking about lump. I said Snoop Dogg. He's a rapper right now. He's right down your alley, Mr. Jack. Elvis Presley. He's going first time. The Beatles. Kid Rock. Madonna. Johnny Cash. Who says he was a Christian? Or he is a Christian. I don't know if he did or not. Which again is the way you become Christian, all that is to sing gospel songs. Paul McCartney, Pink, Ringo Starr, Slash. I don't mean Slash or Slash, that's the name, the group Slash. Charlotte Church, Ray Charles, Mick Jagger, Bob Marley. You thought that right. Then we got some worldly heroes, the military, as I mentioned earlier. Back in the industry, they gave away tens of thousands and millions of cigarettes back in the war to get soldiers addicted to nicotine. Wrestlers, I ain't go through their sorry names. Somebody's ungodly people. I don't care if Brother Little like them or not. I'll be honest with you. I'll give Brother Little, he can watch all that, I don't care. I don't like them. I think it's ungodly. I just really do. If I had a son personally, or daughter, I wouldn't take them to go see no wrestlers, but have naked girls up there, and then cussing and busting beer cans on people's head in that garbage. I just wouldn't do it. That's just me. The people do what they want to. That's what they do. Sports. Lou, Gary. Babe Ruth did an advertisement. All these people did advertisement, by the way, except for this one or two. But these big old names, like Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Jeff Bagwell, Willie Mays, Chipper Jones. Big commercials for cigarette commercials. Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle. These are sports heroes. Little kids look to watch. Hey, Mickey Mantle can smoke a cigarette. Hey, Babe Ruth, if he can knock home runs home runs and smoke a cigarette, be cool. Guess I'm going to go smoke me a cigarette, be cool too. I'll help me get some home runs. What about politicians? Obama, and our great Christian president, Ronald Reagan, the Kennedys, Stalin, Prince Henry, Winston Churchill, and Bill Clinton. And there's a list of others. I don't want to be associated with that. Not at all. I wouldn't want to be associated with half of them because half of them committed adultery and they drink, they take drugs and a bunch of other garbage too. Then they'll go to the house of God, they curse God, they blaspheme the Lord Jesus Christ. So why would I want to be a part of that? I don't know. Using tobacco started. Does anybody know how tobacco started? It started back, I forgot to put down the year, so you have to forgive me. It was many moons ago. And it started as a worship of pagan gods and false gods. It was a ritual. That's how it started. That's what it was all about, smoking. That's how it started. You know what? It still is the same thing. Worshiping a false god. You know what the false god is? Self, tobacco, and the devil. I don't want to be associated with that. That's reason enough for me to say tobacco is a sin. Tobacco is a sin not only because of the addiction and the association of tobacco, but the appearance of tobacco. The appearance of tobacco. Look at 1 Thessalonians 5:22. 1 Thessalonians 5:22. I believe this verse is very plain. This is a commandment. This is not a suggestion for a Christian. It's not an idea Paul was given. It's not a thought. It's a commandment from God Almighty. It says, abstain from all appearances of evil. And if you got some new perversion, they take out that word, all appearance, and they replace it with every form. Every form is not the same thing as all appearance of evil. Now that sounds very strong. Oh, every form of evil. That's true. But the fact is, God said all appearance of evil. The appearance of evil and every form of evil is not the same thing. Something that looks evil is not the same thing as a form of evil.